Traders, FX Pip Collector here. Today is Saturday, July 13th, and this is my video I like to do on Saturdays where I go over the full list of pairs that I currently am watching, including a couple crypto, including all these indices, and then we also do natural gas, oil, silver, gold, and basically every single Forex pair, at least all the major Forex pairs. Every single one of these pairs I do cover every single day in my daily Zoom meetings that I do with my members, my premium members. So, like I always say, if anybody is interested, definitely check it out at my website. My website is right here. Now, I like to call it Learn and Earn at the same time because hopefully, while you're learning to trade by participating in my trading course, about 35 videos long, and attending my live Zoom meetings where I cover every single one of those pairs that are on the list that I just showed you. I do 9 meetings a week. I do a London meeting every single weekday, and then I also do a New York meeting Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday during the New York session. But I like to call it Learn and Earn at the same time because hopefully while you're learning to trade, you can earn by following along with some of my swing trades that I provide to the group at the time of entry with stop loss. Now, these are the trades that I provided to the group last week, so if anybody wants to go through and watch the video, pause the video so that way they can take a closer look at some of these entries. I am a swing trader, so usually I average maybe 12, 15 trades a week between all the pairs. So definitely not a short time frame trader, but yeah, definitely some pretty decent trades this week, especially the euro pound and a couple of the other ones that we took. So if you want to go through and pause the video and check out some of those entries, these are the trades that I provided to the group last week. Once you become a member, you unlock all these channels right here. These are all members only channels. So if you're interested, it is only $30 a month. It's very, very cheap. And I've had a lot of people tell me that I only charge $30 a month for my membership, but they are trading a funded account, making several $1,000s a month following along with my trades. So definitely check it out. If you're not satisfied, you can cancel at any time. It is only $30 a month. Very, very, very cheap. So if anybody is interested, definitely check that out. If not, at least join my free Discord channel. My Discord channel itself is 100% free. I do giveaways at the end of every month too, so you can possibly even win some money for doing nothing but being part of a community of like-minded traders. So anyways, let's start off at the bottom of the list on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then we'll work our way all the way up to the list to the more popular pairs, like the dollar pairs, like the euro dollar and stuff like that. So we're just going to look at the daily time frame. Now, I use the daily time frame as my roadmap time frame to help me decide on what I want to do on the shorter time frames. It's like they always say, without your roadmap, you would be completely lost. So I use my daily time frame as my roadmap so that way I'm not lost and I know which direction I should be trading in or on the shorter time frames. So anyways, let's start off with Ethereum. I think Ethereum is very, very likely in a wave C, but we do not have an end of a trend for this wave C. I would expect something like this to happen right now. I would expect this to be like a wave 4, and then I would expect another push down for a wave 5. So, I mean, you could definitely be looking for longs if you're a very short time frame trader, but you have to keep in mind that this is very likely to bounce off on these Fibonacci levels and make another move to the downside. So moving on to Bitcoin, I mean, Bitcoin is basically the exact same thing as Ethereum. So Bitcoin, I think, is very, very likely in a wave C of wave 4. Now, the thing is once this wave C of 4 is over, once you see that break of structure proving that the correction is over, then this is probably going to end up continuing the uptrend in a wave 5, and it probably even will go up and make new all-time highs again. But for now, you definitely have to realize that the primary goal probably is to continue to look for shorts on shorter time frames, unless you're a very short time frame trader. So moving on to some of these indices. The France 40. So the France 40 is about to break structure. If it does break this structure and hold above this structure, then I would definitely stop looking for shorts and start looking for longs. It probably is the end of a wave C, probably is the continuation of the uptrend. If it rejects structure and doesn't break structure, then I would definitely look for shorts because it obviously could just keep on going down. Break of structure, start looking for longs. No break of structure, continue to look for shorts. So the DAX, the German, it looks to me like we already have the end of an ABC correction. It looks like it made like a running ABC. Nice impulsive down wave A, nice 1, 2, 3 waves up wave B, nice downtrend wave C. Wave C's do not always have to take out the low wave A, and this is a pretty good example of that. I got my Fibonacci retracement level on here just in case, but I think at this point it's probably going to go up at least to the 100% Fibonacci extension. So definitely looking for longs on that. The EU50, pretty much exactly the same thing, except for this made a little bit better of a correction. Nice impulsive down, nice 1, 2, 3 up, nice little downtrend. It looks like the end of a correction. Probably is going to keep on trending up. Probably is going to go up and make new highs. This right here is a weekly time frame support level up there, so I think that probably is the best target. So definitely looking for longs on sort of time frames on that also. The UK, so this UK, it kind of looks like it also could have ended a correction. It looks like impulsive down. It looks like three waves up. It looks like impulsive down, but it really hasn't proven that it's ended a correction like some of the other ones. This easily could be 1, 2, 3 waves up and then impulsive down. If you do see on like the 4 hour time frame, three waves up, impulsive down, I would definitely stop looking for longs and start looking for shorts again. It does seem kind of likely like it might actually go down again. But if it follows suit like the other ones, it probably is not an ABC. It's probably actually a 1, 2, 3, and it probably will just keep on stretching out. So definitely look for longs unless you see that 1, 2, 3 ABC shape with a very impulsive move down on sort of time frames. Moving on to the US 30. The US 30 was ranging for a very long time. Almost 2 weeks it was pretty much in a little teeny range, but it finally broke out, finally back up to its highs. Another one down, 1, 2, 3 up, one down. Perfect little ABC, higher high wave C. I just call those irregular ABC corrections. We see these irregular ABCs all the time. It definitely does have five waves up right now, so maybe a pullback is likely, especially with the fact we took out the highs. But unless it goes down and breaks structure to the downside, I definitely think the roadmap time frame is telling us to continue to look for longs at the end of pullbacks. Moving on to the Nasdaq, yeah, the Nasdaq and the S&P are just big uptrends. Yeah, now I do see that they did definitely push down, and they may even possibly start a little bit of a bigger correction like this. Maybe possibly a few days of corrective action. But I definitely would be paying very close attention to these fib levels on sort of time frames, and I would definitely still primarily be looking for longs. And like I said, it's probably a few days of corrective action. So if you are a very short time frame trader, you could definitely be looking for shorts. If you're more of a swing trader like me, then you're going to be waiting for the end of a correction to go long for the continuation of the uptrend. S&P 500, pretty much the same thing. We are at Fibonacci levels on both of these, so it probably is pretty likely that we will see a little bit of a pullback, but the pullback is probably only going to be a correction to this last wave up. It's probably going to go down a little bit, but it probably will make a higher low, and it probably will make another move to the upside. If it really does go down and break structure, then I definitely will switch up and start looking for shorts, but the market is definitely telling me that the trend is up, and I definitely listen to the trend because I am a trend trader. So if the trend is up on my daily, I'm definitely looking for longs on shorter time frames. Moving on to natural gas. Natural gas makes some beautiful ABC corrections, which is why I actually do really like this pair. We had almost a perfect five waves up right here, and then we had this big impulsive down with a break of structure. Most likely this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of wave A. Most likely the next thing to happen is a correction to the wave A, like a wave B. So once it starts to move up and starts to break structure, you can put your Fibonacci retracement on the wave A, look for the end of a wave B, and then probably back down again for a wave C eventually. Most likely we are in an ABC correction to the last five waves up. Moving on to oil. I'm actually oil. It did make a big turn down, but I'm hoping this is what happens. I'm hoping this is a wave A. I'm hoping that this is actually a wave B. My higher time frames make me think that it's going up to $100 a barrel. So this hopefully is going to give us a really nice ABC correction, maybe into next week, maybe even the week after. But at some point, I really think this is going to give us a nice correction, probably a wave one, probably a wave two, and eventually up for a wave three. So you could definitely be sorting it if you trade the short time frames, but I definitely am waiting for the end of three waves to go long. This should be a really, really nice setup if it really does make a end of a wave two and the beginning of a wave three, making its way probably all the way up around $100 a barrel. So moving on to silver. Gold and silver are very, very correlated. Silver does look like a possible 1, 2, 3 pattern. It looks like it's ended a correction. My target on silver is $36 on the weekly monthly time frame. Does kind of look like it wants to start a pullback, but I definitely primarily would still be looking for longs. Like I said, my target is right around $36. I think on the weekly time frame this is a big wave C, but we still have a pretty decent amount of upside potential left, I believe. And moving on to gold. I think gold has ended a correction too. I mean, if you see my full top down videos, I think that this is actually still a wave 3 on the weekly time frame. And then I think this is a subdivision. So this is a 1 of 3, a 2 of 3. This wave 5 is a 3 of 3. This is a 4 of 3. And we're now in a wave 5 of wave 3. My target for this wave 5 of wave 3 is the $2,550 area, which is the 161.8 Fibonacci extension on the weekly time frame of the wave 1 extended out the bottom of the wave 2. So definitely bullish on gold, definitely looking for pullback entries. Moving on to the Kiwi Swiss. The Kiwi Swiss did make a pretty nice little turn down. Most of the other Swiss pairs actually do look like they want to go up at some point. So I actually think that, I don't know, I may not make a new hot low. It's probably more likely to make a higher low. Probably more likely to end up doing something like this, making like a three-way pattern down and then continuing the uptrend. But if this really is the end of a wave Y on higher time frames, then it may actually do this. 3 waves up, 3 waves down, 5 waves up, take out structure, and then continue the downtrend. Either way, I think we will have another pretty significant push to the upside at some point. Moving on to the Kiwi CAD. Boy, the Kiwi CAD kind of looks like it wants to end the correction. It kind of looks like impulsive down wave A, break of structure, wave B, little impulsive down wave C, Fibonacci level. Nice impulsive move to the upside, especially if this continues up and it breaks structure. If we see this continue up and if we see it break structure, it's almost definitely the end of a correction and a continuation of the uptrend. So definitely keep an eye on it. I mean, there's no confirmation the correction is over because we don't have a break of structure yet. It possibly could just, turn back down, especially because the roadmap time frame hasn't told us it's going up yet. But it definitely looks like an ABC, and it definitely looks like it will break structure and end up continuing the uptrend. So moving on to the CAD Swiss. The CAD Swiss, just like the other Swiss pairs, I'm definitely thinking and hoping that this is a correction. I mean, I think it's going to end up forming 3 waves down to a Fibonacci level. I think it needs to go down more, probably at least to the 50 or the 61% Fib, maybe something like that. Then continue the uptrend. I think this is a wave 1, I think it's a wave 2, and I think it's a wave 3. All the Swiss pairs, I'm waiting for the end of a wave 2 to enter long for a wave 3. Should be a really, really profitable trade when that does occur. And like I said, every single swing trade that I do take, I do provide to my premium members at the time of entry. So if anybody does want to participate in my swing trade setups, the website is right here. It's only $30 US a month. So if you're paying in pounds, it's really only like 26 pounds a month. If you're paying in euros, it's probably like 27, 28 euros a month. Very, very, very cheap. The Aussie Kiwi, I definitely think that this is a wave 1. I think this is an expanding flat for a wave 2, and I think we're in a wave 3. You actually have to go up to the weekly time frame to see my target on this wave 3, or you can zoom out, but I think it's going to go up to around the 161.8. Like this, make a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this is a wave C, so eventually it is going to turn down. But this is the weekly time frame, so the turn down is probably more likely to going to happen like in 2025. But for now, definitely looks like a wave 3. We're at a Fibonacci level, so hopefully it does make a pullback because that should give us another opportunity to go long at the end of the pullback for the continuation of the uptrend. So moving on to the Aussie Swiss, like I said, all of these Swiss pairs I think are in an uptrend. This one really hasn't made too much of a pullback, so we really don't even have a pullback like you do on some of the other ones. I mean, it would be nice if it did make a pullback, but so it could give us a chance to go long. Whether it really is going to make a pullback, the Aussie overall has been very, very strong lately, so it may actually just keep on going up. So any pullback entries you do see on the sort of time phase, I would definitely be looking for longs. Moving on to the Aussie CAD. We've been debating for a while whether this right here was a wave A or a wave 1, this was a wave B or a wave 2, but I think that it's pretty much confirmed that it's not a wave C. I think it's pretty much confirmed that it is a wave 3. If it is a wave 3, this thing has got lots and lots and lots of upside potential, so we're probably going to be looking for longs on this for pretty much the whole summer in a wave 3 on pullback entries, especially 3-way pullback entries. So I think this has a lots of upside potential, and we definitely should be looking for longs in this wave 3. Moving on to the pound Kiwi, we actually did a lot of work on the pound Kiwi, pound Aussie, yo Kiwi pairs this week because they definitely look like they want to go back up. So originally I was thinking it was going to be a 3-3-5 pattern, but obviously it's not. I think it's actually three waves down, impulsive up wave 1, five waves down wave A, corrective up wave B. This is a running flat because it's a higher high wave C and a higher high wave B. So this is a very good example of a running flat wave 2, I believe, which means that we are very likely now in a wave 3. And this, if this is true, this thing has lots of upside potential also, and we're definitely going to be looking for pullback entries for quite some time on this one. Now, the pound Aussie just recently broke structure, but if the pound Kiwi is doing that, then the pound Aussie is also going to do something very similar. So there's a pretty good chance that this is actually probably a wave 1, a wave 2, and a wave 3 also. So now that we have a break of structure, I'm definitely going to be looking for pullback entries either way. If it does what we think it's going to do, then it definitely should be a wave 3, and it's definitely going to go up and take out these highs and go much, much higher than that. So moving on to the pound Swiss, just like all the other Swiss pairs, I'm looking for longs. It really hasn't given us much of a chance. It's been such a strong uptrend, but if you do see any pullbacks on shorter time frames, definitely looking for longs on really all the Swiss pairs. Moving on to the pound CAD. The pound has been extremely strong ever since we had the election, I think it was last week. This one was a little tricky to tell you the truth because this right here was definitely a trend. I would have 100% looked at this as a wave A. I definitely would have looked at this as a wave B and then go down again for a C. What ended up happening, in hindsight, it's a very recognizable correction, and what it is a mode of wave correction, which is a very recognizable correction if you know anything about Elliot wave. But these mode of wave corrections to me are always the trickiest. I mean, it definitely broke structure. I think this also has lots and lots of upside potential, especially if you go to the weekly time frame, monthly time frame. My target on this is actually, you can't even see it on the weekly. My target on this is actually all the way up above like the 2.13 area. So definitely very bullish on that. Looking for pullback entries to go long. The Euro Kiwi, pretty much the same thing. I mean, the Euro Kiwi does have a little bit of a five wave shape, which would make you think that, and we got a Fibonacci level, which would make you think that it would make a pullback, which I hope it does make a pullback, because if it does, that's great news for me, because that's where I will be looking to go long again for the continuation of the uptrend. So I'm definitely looking for longs on the Euro Kiwi. I'm looking for longs on all these cross pairs, the Euro Aussie, Euro Kiwi. Now, the Euro Aussie is actually not broken structure yet, but if it is what we think it is, then it will follow the other ones and it will break structure. You can't really confirm that it's going up until you get that structure break, so technically, you should technically be looking for longs on shorter time frames until you get that break of structure, but just if the Euro Aussie if the Euro Kiwi, Pound Aussie, Pound Kiwi are going up, then the Euro Aussie definitely will follow suit. So moving on to the Euro Pound. Euro Pound was actually one of my best trades this week. If you go through my list of trades that I just showed you guys at the beginning of the video, these are the trades that I provided with the group this week. The Euro Pound was definitely an amazing trade. And I actually don't really think it's over. I think it probably is going to go down and hit this Fibonacci level. So you might actually get like a wave 4, wave 5 entry, get the end of a wave 4 entry on the shorter time frame. So you might get at least one more short, but once it hits this fib level, I think there's a chance it may actually turn back up. But there's also an alternative analysis that has this going down a lot further. I see it as a wave 5 on the weekly time frame, but it also could be a very big pattern to the downside, especially with how strong the pound has been. So I'm definitely still looking for shorts on that. Euro Swiss. Just like the other Swiss pairs, I'm definitely looking for longs. I definitely wouldn't go long now, but if and when it makes a pullback, I will definitely be going long at every single pullback I see. Every single time I see pullbacks, especially three-way pullbacks, I'm going to be going long for the continuation of the uptrend. Moving on to the Euro CAD. Euro CAD is definitely strong too. Not quite as strong as the pound CAD, but definitely very strong. I think it's pretty much invalidated that this right here is the ABC. Pretty much just like the other pairs, I actually think this is the ABC, and this is right here is a wave 1, and this is 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up, 5 waves down. This is an A, this is a B, this is a C, a running flat. We see a lot of these flat patterns, so if you're not familiar with the flats, the running flat, the expanding flat, and the regular flat, then you definitely need to be familiar with them because we see these patterns a lot in the market. And most likely that's telling us that we are in a wave 3 right now because we had a running flat wave 2, I believe. So definitely looking for logs on that. Moving on to the yen pairs, the Bank of Japan intervened this week at the US dollar CPI news. This is the second time they've done an intervention over the last, I think this summer. They did another one, I think, back here. Now, I've been saying for a long time that the only thing to do on the yen pairs is go long, which I still kind of agree with. Because look what happened at the last Bank of Japan intervention. It went down for like a week or two, and then it just continued the uptrend. I would definitely be looking for shorts at sort of time frames because we do have a breaker structure, so I would be looking for shorts, but be very, very cautious sorting the yen. This literally might just go down for like a week or so and then just keep on trending up. So pretty much the same story on all the yen pairs. That's why I kind of go through them very fast. They definitely all broke structure, so you should definitely be looking for shorts on all of them, but be very careful. They literally could just like trend back up at any time. I really am not convinced that this really is the turn because we really don't have any proof that it is the turn on the correctly tuned time frame, which is for me is like the weekly time frame. So there's really actually no proof that the wave 3 is actually over on any of these, and it very, very easily could continue up. So definitely looking for shorts because we have a breaker structure, but be very cautious on the yen pairs. They definitely, definitely, definitely could turn back up. Breaker structure, looking for shorts. Just like the last Bank of Japan intervention, it only lasted for a week or two and then it just kept on trending up. This could literally only last for a week or two and then it's keep on trending up. So be very cautious. But I am definitely looking for shorts on all of them because they definitely broke structure. Some of them, to me, especially the pound yen, really look like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and it looks like it needs to go up again for a wave 5. Especially on the pound yen because of how strong the pound is. I think there's a really good chance this one's going to go up and make new highs. Moving on to the euro yen. Pretty much same thing on the yo yen. I think this is a 1, 2, 3. This is likely a 4, and it's likely to go back up again for a wave 5 eventually. So on all the yen pairs, including the dollar yen, you could definitely be looking for shorts. But you have to keep in mind that there's a very, very good chance that this will go up again. I personally think that it will go up again, especially on the dollar yen and the euro yen and the pound yen. Probably this one will at least go back up to the 162, but you definitely can look for shorts. And guess what I'm doing right now? I'm looking for shorts on sort of time frames. While I'm looking for shorts on sort of time frames, if this thing just keeps on going down like this, am I going to be mad about the idea that I thought this was going up if I'm looking for shorts at every single pullback I see on sort of time frames? Or am I going to be happy that I'm following structure and just using Elliot wave on my higher time frames to get a good idea of what I think is going to happen? So even though I think that it might go back up again, until the market actually proves it's going back up on like the 4 hour time frame, I am definitely looking for shorts on sort of time frames. And if it just keeps on going down and makes a big old giant wave A or wave 1, then guess what? I'm going to be looking for shorts anyway, so it's definitely not going to bother me any. So moving on to the dollar Swiss, I always consider the dollar Swiss more of a Swiss pair than a yen pair, and I do think the dollar Swiss probably is going to go back up again. I think this is likely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down. I think this is likely a wave A, 5 waves down, either wave A or wave 1. This move up is a wave A. This is most likely 3 waves down for wave B. Definitely keep an eye on your Fibonacci levels for the end of this correction, probably go up one more time, make a wave C, and this would be an ABC of B or an ABC of 2. Then most likely it will go down for either a wave 3 or a wave C. So definitely keeping an eye on that. This looks like something that definitely could make an entry to go long next week. Moving on to the US dollar CAD. Now, I am a trend trader, and when I see something that's been in a range for almost 2 months, it's actually, I think, over 2 months now, usually I don't even touch it. I am a trend trader. I do not trade rate. I prefer to trade things that are trending. But I definitely think there is some clarity to this. I think it is a wave B still. I still think this is a wave 1. I still think this is in a big old irregular ABC of 2. I still think this is going to be a wave 3, and I think that it is going to go up a little bit. On the sort of time frames, I definitely think it is going to go up, but I think it's going to make a lower high, and eventually it's probably going to end up continuing the downtrend for a 1, a 2, and a wave 3, which I think this is here is a wave C of wave B. I think this is a wave A of B, this is a wave B of B, and I think we're going to make a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down for a wave C of wave B. So moving on to the Kiwi dollar, boy, the Kiwi was very, very weak, but just like the other dollar pairs, I think this is a wave one. I think this is an ABC of two. I think this is a one of three. I think this is a two of three. And I think that we're in a three of three, which will continue to make higher highs, higher lows over the coming weeks and months. So definitely very, very bullish. I'm very, very bullish on all four of these pairs right here. Very, very, very bullish. I think the dollar is going down probably pretty much for the whole summer, which will make these go up pretty much the whole summer in a wave three of wave three. So before we move on to the Aussie dollar, the pound dollar, and the euro dollar, like I was saying, definitely make sure you check out my website if you are interested. It is only $30 a month. I do provide all my swing trades to the group at the time of entry with stop loss. That's why I like to call it learn and earn at the same time, because I want you to learn to trade. But hopefully while you're learning by following along with my trading course, which is 35 videos, hopefully while you're participating in my Zoom meetings, which I do 9 of them a week, hopefully you're going to be learning to trade. But while you're learning, hopefully you'll be earning a little bit by following along with some of my trade setups. And the New York session, I start at 1 p.m. in the afternoon UK time or 8 a.m. New York time, because the US dollar almost always has its news at 1:30 UK time or 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So while we're in these New York sessions, we have US dollar news come out and we enter news entries together as a group also. So not only do you get my swing trade setups, but any entries that I enter during the news, I let everybody know what I'm doing, and we analyze it together, and we come up with a conclusion together, and we enter trades together at the news. I do like to trade the news, but I definitely trade much smaller when I trade the news. But I do like to trade the news. You can sometimes make a lot of money really, really fast. And even if you do not want to join my membership, definitely check out my Discord channel. It is 100% free, and I am doing a 100 USDT giveaway. Actually doing two giveaways this month. Last month I did one giveaway. This month I'm doing two giveaways. So you could literally win money for doing nothing but being part of a free trading community. Join the group, share your charts, share your trade ideas, interact with other traders, and just have a good time learning and earning at the same time, hopefully. So the Aussie dollar, pretty much the same deal. I think this is very well. First of all, I think this right here is the end of a trend. This is a big old ABC of two. This is a big impulsive up, wave one. This is an ABC correction. This is a wave two subdivision. So this right here is a one and a two, and now we're in a wave three. So this is subdivision one, so one of three. Subdivision two, two of three, and we are in a wave three of three. Especially with the fact that this closed about the 78% on Friday. Now, don't get me wrong. There's definitely going to be pullbacks along the way, and eventually it might even make a subdivision one, two of three. But I am definitely extremely bullish. I think that these are literally going to trend up all summer long. So I will be looking for longs if this goes as planned pretty much all summer long on pretty much the Kiwi, the Aussie, the pound, and the euro dollar, because they're all doing exactly the same thing. Moving on to the pound dollar, especially the pound dollar. Look at that. That is extremely strong. Nice little five waves up. Well, first of all, you got five waves up over here, wave one. You got a big old WXY, wave two. You got five waves up for subdivision one of three. You got a ABC down for subdivision two of three. And then you got a big giant wave three of wave three. Now, like I said, there's definitely going to be pullbacks. Don't get me wrong. There definitely will be pullbacks. And it's probably going to be some pretty big pullbacks. But I will 100% be looking to go long at every single pullback I get for the continuation of what is most likely going to be a wave three of three. Hopefully, you've seen my full top-down analysis videos on these, because on the monthly time frame, I have a pretty good target of where I think these are actually going to end up, which is a long ways to the upside. Moving on to the euro dollar, which is actually one of the most popular pairs and actually one of my favorite pairs also. Same thing, I think we got a nice little five waves up over here, most likely a wave one. This is a big old WXY, most likely a wave two. This is five waves up right here, subdivision one of three. This is an ABC right here, subdivision two of three. And we are definitely in a wave three of three, I believe. We are approaching the previous high, which probably will cause a pullback, but you know what? A lot of people fear pullbacks, especially if they're long. But I look at pullbacks as opportunities. I don't mind holding on to a trade and letting the money go away a little bit on a pullback, because I know that if I can build a position to the long side, I'm going to make substantially more money than any scalper could even dream of making. So if I can build a position to the long side, I'm going to be able to make way more money than any scalper could even dream of. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm looking to go long every single pullback I see and build a position to the long side for this wave 3 of wave 3, which I actually think is a big old wave C on the much, much higher time frames. So I hope everybody enjoys their weekend. Today is Saturday, so I'm going to take off and enjoy my weekend also. I will talk to everybody on Monday. And as always, thank you for watching and happy trading.